All right, so this is a review of the Cotopaxi Allpa 42-liter travel bag. Um, I'm reviewing the old bag that came out about 6 years ago, and then the new bag that just came out roughly a month ago in 2024. So the old bag I actually traveled with for around 7 months. I went to South America, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. So I have a lot of miles and experience kind of traveling with this bag. And then when Cotopaxi released the new one, I was like, oh, well maybe I should get the new one and kind of see if it's better. And this review kind of is going to cover why I think the old bag is actually superior to the new updated version. And so let's go in and talk about the exterior of the bags, and then I'll kind of get into the interior. So the exterior of the bag is made with this kind of waterproof coating. The difference between these two, this one, I don't know, the way the material is made, if you ever like bash it to like a wall or something, this bag kind of like grabs a little bit, like you can get scuffs on this guy versus this one. I think that the material on the outside they're using here is improved, which is really nice. So moving to the front of the bag, it's super clean, super minimalistic. I love it. And there's a front pocket right here, which we'll get into later. We move the bag over to the side. We have a handle on this side. And if you open up, there's a panel that is like a pass-through into the main compartment, which is not present on the new one, but it is on the old one. I never use this feature. I know some people love this, so they can do like a quick access to this main compartment, but I never used it, so just food for thought there. On the back, here we have the straps. These straps are okay. Like the comfortability of this bag, I would probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. It does have some hip belts to distribute weight at the bottom, but the way that this bag actually like distributes weight isn't really the best. I think Osprey makes some incredible travel bags that have great weight distribution, and this just isn't quite there to that level. It does distribute weight a little bit, but I think they can do better. One thing that's present on this bag that's not on the new one are these load lifters. Quite honestly, I think this is a deal breaker when it comes to that new bag not having these, but I think Cotopaxi made a mistake by not including these load lifters on the new bag. You also have a handle at the top. There's also a handle at the bottom. If we move over to the side, we have a water bottle compartment, another handle. There's handles on all four sides of this bag, left, right, top, bottom, which is really, really nice when you're just like wanting to grab the bag, get out, go wherever you're going. Right here, we have a dedicated laptop compartment, big area for your laptop. There's also like a tablet area and then a pocket up here to actually put your like maybe cords or something. So that's an overview of the old bag. And the new bag, here we have a front pocket, and then they have a new smaller front pocket, which is nice. I'll kind of get into that as well. Moving over to this side of the bag, there's a handle. Again, no pass-through, but they actually switched the laptop compartment to this side of the bag. So here's the laptop compartment, and it's made of like this felt material. And quite honestly, I don't think, I think the material that they're using here is not as nice as the old one. That's just my personal preference. They also have along all the bag, like on this piece right here, they have like this little security loop. So, you know, if you want to, you know, put this in the loop right here, it deters someone from like opening this and stealing your laptop really quickly, which is kind of a nice touch. It's also present on this bag. There's security loops all over this bag. So it deters potential people just kind of snooping around your bag really quickly, which is a nice feature. All right, so moving over to the back. So looking side by side, you can see here that one of the big things that Cotopaxi emphasized with the new bag is like how it distributes weight. And I just think after testing out this bag versus this one, I don't see a really big improvement. I think actually it's less comfortable than this old bag. These hip belts are actually wider than these, but these are actually thicker than these. Like these are just super thin. I just don't think that this bag does a better job at distributing weight than this bag. Also, all the straps on this bag, so these guys are super flimsy. Like they're just cheap compared to this. Like this is like a much nicer little locking mechanism right here versus like this one. It just seems much more well built than this bag. Moving over to the side here, we have a water bottle compartment, no handle, and then no pass-through, like I said. But on this side, on the old bag, this is where the laptop compartment was. But again, there's no zipper right here. They kind of simplified the design, water bottle holder. And so that's the exterior of the bags. So let's get into the interior, because I think that's where the magic happens with this bag. Is I think the organization is like 9 of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10. So let's start with this front pocket, super massive. You can see here that there's a big like mesh compartment. There's actually some additional sub compartments under here. And then on this side of the bag here, we have these different pieces right here where you can stuff stuff, which is super nice, and a little keychain loop. That's the old bag. The new bag has the same thing. Big compartment right here, little loop for your keychain, but there's no sub organization, and then no sub compartments right here to put stuff in. And quite honestly, they just cheaped out on the design. I think that this design is just better because there's just a lot more that you can put in and organize on this bag versus this one. Another nice touch about Cotopaxi, I think they did a nice job. They actually did a dual zip on this one, so your two zippers zip up both ways, versus this one is just the single zipper like that. On the new bag, they also included this smaller compartment where you can kind of stuff maybe a passport, your phone, maybe a battery bank. But when the bag is actually fully stuffed, this pocket actually becomes a problem to like access, because like the whole thing is just kind of bulging and everything kind of just gets kind of tucked up against this wall, and it's just hard to access it. So I think it's a good idea, but I think they should have had like a dedicated like 3D space, so that way like you can actually like access this, even though the other main bigger pocket up front is fully stuffed. Just food for thought there. All right, moving on to the inside of the bag. Open it up. I'll open up both at the same time so you guys can kind of see the differences between the two, and there's slight differences. Okay, so the first thing is on this bag here, you have a top section, opens out like this. You have another, like a third compartment, 2/3 down here. If I open this up, you get a 2/3. And this bag, what's present here is an extra zipper. They also include a rain fly, which is super nice, a rain cover for the bag. But there's just an extra mesh pocket for extra organization. And then on this main compartment, this opens up and it's just one large compartment right here. Just a lot of room. It's a suitcase style, super nice. And one thing to note too is like, I think the materials on this one are superior to this, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit more. But one extra thing that they have like this extra pocket that's right here. You can hide stuff in there, which is really nice. All right, let's go move over to the new bag. So the new bag has, again, a third, 2/3, and then a main compartment. Here you can stuff things. Notice that this is just a simplified single zip versus that one. Here, this is, again, a 2/3, you zip it out, but instead of zipping out this way, it zips inward. And I think this design is just not as great as the new one, or the old one, because when you go through and you're packing the bag, this side actually flips up this way. And so now you have like these things that are like in the way when you're packing versus on this bag, everything kind of opens up outward and you can just kind of pack everything. And I just kind of, it's a little touch, but I think it makes packing this bag just a little bit more convenient than the new one. All right, so moving in here, so like I showed you on the other bag, this bag doesn't have like that really, that little secret compartment. Again, they kind of simplified the design. Good and bad. I mean, I think it's just like a nice touch that they did, but I think they cut corners. Cotopaxi cut, I think, a lot of corners on this bag, and this bag costs $30 US more than that bag. This one retails for $220. This one retails for $250 USD. One last thing to note on like just, I think the craftsmanship and the quality of the material. Check this out. So this material is like kind of slightly stretchy, and I didn't think of it much, but when you're packing and you have some kind of weird like packing thing going on and you're just trying to stuff things in, this stretchy material is actually really nice because you can kind of stuff things in and then it kind of just stretches out, versus this one, the material on here is just like this rigid material. And so I'm just trying to think when I'm packing the bag, it's just, again, not as flexible, not as rigid. And I quite honestly think it's just, this material is just not as good as the old bag. And I think it's just cost of materials is probably cheaper, is probably where I'm thinking what Cotopaxi did with this bag. So in short, I think that the old bag is superior to the new one. In many regards, I think the old one has better organization, and the comfort on the old bag, I don't know. I think it's better than this one. This old one has the load lifters, even though maybe a crappier hip belt design. I thought that this design did just as a good job as this design, although I think they are miles behind Osprey and the way that they distribute weight on those bags. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a good overview of the two bags. I think these travel bags are amazing. I know I'm kind of nitpicking between the two, but I do think the organization is like a 9 out of 10, and then comfort, which is a really big deal for me. I would probably rate these bags both at best 6.5, but I do value the organization over the comfort in this, I don't know, just for my travel style. But if they can do something like what Osprey does and just put that system on these bags, these would be perfect bags. I shit you not. They would be perfect. Yeah, so that's my overview.